Hello, I'm Darren Magee, and the topic for today comes from a question asking if I would outline the dynamics that might take place in a relationship between a grandiose narcissist and a covert narcissist. Now, I think it's important to note that not everyone with narcissistic traits might exhibit the same behaviours. Relationships may vary depending on perhaps the severity of the narcissism, even individual factors. As I often say, it's never really a one-size-fits-all. So the following is based on how a relationship might play out based on the common traits and characteristics associated with narcissism. So to begin with, these two types of narcissists have contrasting ways of expressing their traits. With grandiose narcissism, we often see haughty behaviour, arrogance, and being highly resistant to criticism. With covert narcissism, we see low mood, a sense of perpetual victimhood and helplessness, and being highly sensitive to criticism. But both have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. There's a lack of empathy for others. Both have a huge sense of entitlement and a constant need for validation, and both can be highly disagreeable. And these characteristics would be long-term and pervasive. They wouldn't just be once in a while. So how might their relationship function? Well, when a grandiose narcissist and a covert narcissist are in a relationship with each other, it can create quite a complex and potentially volatile dynamic. Their interactions can lead to power struggles, manipulation, and emotional turbulence, even for those around them. So we can see personalities collide. We can also see them collude. Both believe themselves to be special, flawless, unique. They believe others should be envious of them, so they can complement each other quite well, especially when it comes to putting on the public face. But when they first meet, they may recognize traits in each other that reflect their own insecurities and desires, and this can bring up a mutual fascination. The grandiose narcissist may initially find the covert's admiration and willingness to cater to their ego very appealing. They are being admired. The covert narcissist might appreciate the grandiose's ability to take charge and find an attraction in their bold self-assurance. This might lead to the grandiose narcissist assuming a dominant and dynamic position, whereas the covert narcissist may be a more submissive one, but only in the sense that they are being looked after. But both are being validated. The grandiose narcissist might idealize the covert for their unwavering support and admiration. In turn, the covert may idealize the grandiose for their charisma and self-assuredness. However, this idealization is often short-lived, as soon as they begin to see each other's flaws, and this can lead to a cycle of idealization and devaluation, as is common in most narcissistic relationships. Both partners begin criticizing and diminishing each other. They may undermine each other, there may even be sabotage, but neither are recognizing they're both doing the same thing to each other. They're just using different tactics. Next, the grandiose narcissist might be overt in their desire for attention, admiration, and dominance, while the covert narcissist tends to be a bit more subtle and manipulative in their pursuit of dominance. This contrast can lead to power struggles within the relationship as they both strive for control and recognition. This can lead to mind games being played. Both types of narcissists are skilled at manipulation. They just use different tactics as they try to dominate in different ways. The grandiose narcissist might resort to more overt tactics like bullying, shouting, temper tantrums, gaslighting, outright domination. The covert may employ more passive-aggressive behaviour like emotional manipulation. Although they may guilt-trip the grandiose, it's not necessarily aimed at making them feel guilty about their behaviour. It's more about shaming them if others knew what they were really like, so they fear losing their status. They fear losing their image. But both try to get what they want by using, exploiting the other's needs, desires, flaws, and vulnerabilities as leverage. Next, narcissistic people often isolate their partners from external sources of support and validation. When two narcissists are in a relationship together, they may become each other's primary sources of validation and attention, further deepening their emotional dependence on each other. Because image is everything, they like others to be envious of them. Publicly, they might collude with each other's lies and delusions, trying to present themselves as the perfect couple with the perfect children and the perfect life, so they tend to back each other up. Behind closed doors, though, they can devalue and diminish each other's qualities and their achievements. The grandiose narcissist might have volatile outbursts, while the covert narcissist might engage in sabotaging behaviours. But this creates a constant undercurrent of emotional instability within the relationship, within the family home. This, however, can be put to the side as they work together to present their public image. So both may be deeply unhappy in the relationship, but they're both benefiting, both enjoying, both feeding off the image that others see. When it does come to contention between them, they tend to justify their behaviour towards each other by always blaming the other person for their own actions. Whatever it is they do, it's always because of the other person. It's never really about resolving anything, it's just about trying to win. Now, if they have children, they may use each other to manipulate them. For instance, one might say, just do what they say, you know what their temper is like. Whereas the other might say, just do what they say, you know how upset they can get. But either way, it usually comes down to something like, can you not just comply? I am the one who suffers from their behaviour because of you. They can also triangulate by communicating through the children rather than directly with each other. Now, because both narcissists tend to want to be the centre of attention and can both be very competitive, as each one tries to outshine the other, this can lead to a never-ending cycle of one-upmanship. This competition for dominance can create tension and conflict within the relationship. It can also draw others into it. Now, there may come a time, maybe in later years, when perhaps the kids have grown up, maybe they've moved away, maybe there's no contact, they want nothing to do with them, maybe they have driven away all of their friends and other family members. All they are left with is each other, and neither of them are particularly happy. Or there can come a stage where maybe the constant power struggles, the manipulation, the emotional turbulence can lead to a breaking point in the relationship. This breaking point might come in the form of explosive conflicts, emotional exhaustion, or the realization the relationship is toxic and unsustainable for both of them. If the relationship ends, both can experience emotional fallout. Their self-esteem, their self-worth may be deeply damaged, so they engage in mutual blame for the relationship's demise. Both badmouth the other person to the kids, other family members, next-door neighbours, mutual friends, pretty much anyone who will listen. So to summarise, a relationship between a grandiose and a covert narcissist can be quite tumultuous and toxic. There's a lot of manipulation and a lot of power struggles. And because both lack empathy, neither are really going to prioritise the emotional needs of the other. Now, they may show superficial empathy, either to manipulate or to gain advantage, but the genuine connection and the emotional support are typically lacking. Now, they may stay together because of their lifestyle, could be because they have to maintain a certain public image, but both are generally miserable. The relationship tends to be either death by 1,000 cuts or a war of attrition. Both might fear exposure of their carefully crafted facade. So they might end up just existing behind closed doors, but still validating and colluding with each other in public. So that's a brief outline of how a relationship between a grandiose and a covert narcissist might look. Now, as always, if there's anything I've missed out, anything you'd like to add, please feel free to use the comment box below. There are some interesting conversations start from these videos. But if you find this video interesting, please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, thanks for watching.